Dengan izinnya, Arif, persidangan mahkamah pada hari ini dijalankan secara sidang video atas persetujuan semua pihak. Hakim yang bersidang pada hari ini adalah Yang Arif Hakim Datuk Noorin Binti Badaruddin. Petisyen untuk terima masuk sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya. Pempetisyen pertama WA-18-421-04/2021 Ryan Han Zengwen.
Dengan izin Yang Arif Datuk Noorin Binti Badaruddin.
Sebentar Mr. Pilik, bagi pempetisyen memperkenalkan diri dahulu.
Okey, maaf.
Terima kasih.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Ryan Heng Zengwen, pempetisyen pertama.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif Datuk Noorin, nama saya Philip Ko Tong Ni dan saya adalah peguam pengusul yang mewakili pempetisyen pertama Ryan Heng Zengwen pada hari ini. Rakan bijaksana saya bagi pihak Peguam Negara Malaysia ialah Puan Navini, anak perempuan Raji Kumara.
Saya Yang Arif.
Rakan bijaksana saya bagi pihak Majlis Peguam Malaysia Cik Suhiyata Mala, anak perempuan Sandara Secara.
Benar Yang Arif.
Dan rakan bijaksana saya bagi pihak Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan Selangor ialah Saudara Encik Ui Jialing pada hadirin hari ini.
Benar Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif Datuk, saya ingin memohon kebenaran Yang Arif untuk meneruskan di dalam bahasa Malaysia, English.
Dipersilakan Encik Ko.
Terima kasih. Certainly I worried about Yang Amat Berhormat Prime Minister's command, right? But with your permission, we will move this in English for the benefit of families. Yang Arif, may I introduce the petition, Ryan Heng Zengwen. The petitioner was born on 23rd June 1997 in Subang Jaya. It's the first child of Mr. Mark Heng Ik Leong and Dr. Annie Yu Mei Ying. So he's born of parents who care for him and of a professional parentage from the mother's side, all right? Perhaps a medical doctor. So I do not know why he chose law. But anyway, we welcome him if Arif so they need to be. The petition read law at King's College. And of course, I'm proudly associated with it in my postgraduate journey before I returned to teach in University Malaya. So I'm happy to move someone from the King College, London, where he gained an upper second class honors upon graduation. He then went on to complete the bar professional training course at City Law School, where he received the grade of very competent. Well, we hope that people who are moved to the bar are not only competent, but very competent and should apply themselves continually to be competent, all right? Thereafter, Mr. Ryan Heng was called to the bar to the Honorable Society of Middle Temple. I was in contact with Yang Arif Nalini, the president of Middle Temple alumnus, although none of us came from those august gatherings. And recently, Tan Sri Arif, which we are well aware of, has been made the chair of Tun Sofyan Memorial, Tun Sofyan Foundation. Tun Sofyan is an alumnus of the Middle Temple. And I'm sure the younger generation, like Mr. Heng, should go through the shoes of such great precursors and pioneers, all right? And contribute to the well-being of the institution of law and justice in this country. The petitioner's decision to read law in the first place may be credited to his parents, though it's not the way most people would first assume. During his A-levels, he has pondered on what he would pursue in his further studies, but his father made him complete 100 questionnaire. My goodness, that will be a real chore, right? That possible career choice, he came down to two choices. He ought to be a historian or a lawyer. Well, Mr. Ryan Heng said, the rest is history. We hope that you will not be a history, but you will create history, all right? History and law and humanities, my lady, I'm sure you would agree, are part of the journey that we all make in our mind and in our profession. Without history, without understanding the roots of our law and our institution, we can scarcely be pioneers. Upon the completion of our studies, the petitioner commenced and completed his pupillage at Messrs. Chui and Co. and Chang and Arif. Lady, permit me, although Ms. Suhitamala warned me not to be too long-winded, and you may cut me off, young Arif. I was at a launch of a book, My Malaysia, My Home, Mr. Chui Mansao. He was called to the bar on 17 October 1960. All right? That way before any one of us. Well, I was born then, right? And maybe Mr. Shan, but probably not. Shan is younger than he looks. Basically, we know that the practice of law, we have a legacy of great practitioners who care for the law, who nurtured the law, who defend the rule of law. And people like Mr. Chui, and of course, the master that Mr. Ryan Hing is privileged to read under Ms. Karen Chia, the current president of Malaysian Bar. He indeed has a huge burden to discharge, all right? And we need to warn him to discharge it carefully and not hold up his seniors by changing the middle of before the call, all right? Anyway, I need to put that in as an admonition too, all right? Upon that, he completed his tutelage to my learned friend, where the petitioner was exposed to a variety of corporate transactions, advisory work, and the realm of corporate law. I hope that you won't get sucked up only with business law, but you care for public law too, all right? Like your great precursors are, like Christopher Leong too, all right? He is very grateful, of course, my lady, Yang Arif, his parents for their undying love and care, steadfast support and encouragement and guidance, all which enabled the petitioner to be in the position he is in today. He thanked his younger brother. I'm glad they are not fighting, that they can't thank each other, Kevin Peng Zenzuan, for his support throughout the years. The petitioner expresses his gratitude to his grandparents. What a lovely thought, huh? 3 generations, for their love and care, especially during his childhood years when the petitioners were out busy being absent parents. Nonetheless, the grandparents stood in as surrogates. The petitioner would also like to thank his aunt and uncles and support provided to him in his journey so far. Petitioner expresses his appreciation. He could not ask for better support during his formative years. The phrase, "Nothing is more important than a family," could not resonate more for him. Petitioner would like to thank, of course, his pupil master, Miss Karen Chia, who cornered Young Arif, yours truly, to say, "Are you marching today?" And I hesitated and he said, "Well, if you're not, you better move the call of my pupil." So I have an alibi not to be at Jalan Merbuk. Anyway, the petitioner would like to thank his colleagues at CCA for the guidance, patience, and understanding shown to him. Petitioner would like to thank his friends from his high school journey through the university. There are Kai Wen, Mak Jale, Nicholas Chang, Nicholas Cheng, Wong Tak Yew, Ronald Tan, Chin Jiwi, Leonard Cheng, Amir Arampour, Cameron Lee. He's especially grateful for the fact that they all kept in touch in the passage of time. The petitioner would like to thank his pupil batchmates at CCA for making his pupillage a memorable one. Ku Zufan, Zheng Zhen Han Tan, Wen Ziu, Kate Lu, and Zoe Tan. Last but not least, the petitioner say he's grateful to me. I don't know why, because most of us are grateful to be reminded of our journey in law when we attend a function like this. And we're humbled that the beginnings of a journey of a young man and woman will remind us of our calling and vocation. And so it is we who are the mover who ought to be grateful for such an opportunity. Mr. Shamugam was saying to me he was with trepidation waiting for this morning's submission. He has submitted at the highest court and he has trepidation this morning. Young Arif, I believe the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as advocate and solicitor of this honorable court. I also believe that the petitioner's papers are all in order and that my learned friends in the fraternity of the Attorney General's Chambers, the Bar Council, the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor Bar Committee, respectively, have no objections to this motion.
Izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Ryan Heng Zeng Wen sebagai Peguam Bela, Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Ryan Heng Zeng Wen dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Mari dengan izin dan Encik Ryan Heng would rope himself.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations, Mr. Heng, and thank you, Mr. Philip Koh. It's a pleasure to have you before this court today.
Thank you.
Petisyen kedua WA-18-429-04/2021 Cheryl Teo Kali.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Cheryl Teo Kali, pempetisyen kedua.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya K. Shanmuga, hadir bagi pihak pempetisyen Cheryl Teo Kali. Saya pohon meneruskan dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. My lady, the petitioner was born and raised in Kuching, Sarawak, and is the third of 4 children of civil engineer Mr. Teo Swee Chun and Mrs. Jennifer Lee, who works in insurance. I believe both her parents have actually flown over from Kuching to be with her during this ceremony. The petitioner moved to the Klang Valley for her A-levels, where she pursued primarily the sciences. Although she loved chemistry, the petitioner couldn't see herself becoming an engineer. And all her life, she had been told she was very opinionated and argumentative. A law degree therefore seemed natural, but was always to her just a stepping stone to something else. But her time at the London School of Economics and Political Science and her experience there engendered an interest, and I would say a passion, for corporate law. My lady, your petitioner also learned to multitask in London. She worked part-time as a bubble tea rister, which apparently is the name for somebody who makes bubble tea. And I'm told she made 500 cups of 40 different types of bubble tea per shift. That was by the by, of course. She also met many solicitor firms, magic circle firms in London, and her interest in corporate work, corporate advisory work became more solidified. She eventually graduated with first-class honors, my lady, from the LSE and went on to be graded very competent at bar school. She was called to the bar also at the Honorable Society of Middle Temple and has now completed her period of pupillage at Messrs. Wong and Partners under the tutelage of her pupil master, Miss Serene Kanming Choi. During her pupillage, the petitioner again gained tremendous exposure in a varied nature of corporate work, which she particularly enjoyed. She liked how every deal she worked on was different and how she was always learning something new about different industries. To her delight, the petitioner has been retained and continues to work in the mergers and acquisitions team of Wong and Partners, in the corporate practice group. As is customary, my lady, the petitioner is of course filled with gratitude and overwhelmed with gratitude, I might say, and has a long list of people whom she would like to thank. But first and foremost, of course, she would like to give thanks to the Almighty, her Father in heaven. Her thanks to her dear parents who were responsible for shaping her upright character. She says it was her father who taught her the importance of upholding honesty, integrity, and humility, while her mother taught her to be a strong woman, to stand up for herself and to not take no for an answer. Valuable character traits in dealing with the rough and tough world of corporate law, my lady. Her siblings, Derek, Andrea, and Darren, are also her greatest friends and confidants. A special mention to her sister, Andrea, at first a partner in crime in earlier years, but now someone she can always share anything and everything. Naturally, the petitioner expresses her thanks to her pupil master, Serene, her colleagues in Wong and Partners, and special thanks to Mr. Brian Chia, a boss and mentor whom she greatly respects and admires. Her pupillage batchmates were her greatest support system at the workplace, but she is also so glad that they are now people who she genuinely can call friends. The petitioner also records her thanks to friends from all stages of her life who have shown nothing but love and support for her. Alina Ng, her best friend and confidant, for being her rock. Incidentally, my pupil and how I came to be moving Cheryl's call. Alex, for keeping her sane throughout law school with his humor and banter. Her lifelong high school girlfriends, Kim, Anne, and Meg, who are her biggest cheerleaders. Her bar schoolmates, Waylit, Derek, Charissa, Leanne, Jai, Lee, Chi, and Tara, who made the struggles of bar school much more bearable. Her church family in London, Singapore, and KL for their prayers and encouragement, and the Tan brothers, Joe and Tim, for their companionship and sincere friendship. My lady, I have no doubt at all that the petitioner is fit and proper to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor, and I believe her papers are in order and that the relevant parties have no objection. Dengan itu, saya memohon agar Mahkamah yang Mulia ini menerima masuk dan mendaftarai Pempetisyen Cheryl Teo Kali sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Cheryl Teo Kali sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Cheryl Teo Kali dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif. Pohon pempetisyen dibenarkan menyarungkan jubahnya sekarang.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Congratulations, young lady. Impressive resume, impressive background. And thank you, Mr. Shanoga.
Obliged, my lady.
Pempetisyen ketiga WA-18-505-04/2021 Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin, pempetisyen ketiga.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Nur Zahidah binti Hasawi, penguang pengusul yang mewakili pihak pempetisyen Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin yang hadir pada pagi ini. Bersama-sama saya adalah rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang mewakili Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur adalah seperti yang telah diperkenalkan terlebih dahulu tadi. Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon kebenaran untuk memperkenalkan Pempetisyen Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin. Pempetisyen telah dilahirkan pada 14 Mei 1997 di Kuala Lumpur dan dibesarkan di Selangor. Beliau merupakan anak pertama daripada 3 adik-beradik perempuan kepada pasangan Encik Muhammad Jalaluddin bin Muhammad Salib dan Puan Rashidah binti Sahul Hamid. Pempetisyen telah melanjutkan pengajiannya ke peringkat ijazah Sarjana Muda Undang-Undang di Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia Gombak selama 4 tahun dan telah dianugerahkan ijazah Sarjana Muda Undang-Undang dengan kepujian. Setelah tamat pengajian, Pempetisyen seterusnya menjadi pelatih dalam mahkamah di Ketuan Zarif Osman dan Associates pada 15 April 2021. Yang Arif, pada hari yang bahagia ini, Pempetisyen ingin merakamkan jutaan penghargaan kepada kedua ibu bapa beliau dan telah banyak berkorban dan sentiasa memberi bimbingan, dorongan dan sokongan yang tidak pernah putus bagi Pempetisyen dalam mencapai cita-cita Pempetisyen untuk menjadi seorang peguam. Pempetisyen sedar bahawa tanpa kasih sayang, doa dan pengorbanan kedua ibu bapanya, Pempetisyen tidak mungkin boleh berada di sini. Yang Arif, Pempetisyen juga ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada pengajar beliau iaitu Encik Zarif bin Osman kerana memberikan tunjuk ajar kepada beliau dan memberikan Pempetisyen peluang untuk melakukan latihan dalam kamar selama 9 bulan. Pempetisyen juga ingin mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada Puan Noorida binti Ahmad yang telah banyak bersabar dengan Pempetisyen dalam memberikan tunjuk ajar dan perkongsian ilmu kepada beliau selama tempoh latihan dalam kamar beliau di Ketuan Zarif Osman dan Associates. Terima kasih juga kepada seluruh warga Ketuan Zarif Osman Associates yang banyak membantu Pempetisyen mengharungi tempoh pembelajaran beliau sebagai pelatih dalam kamar. Pempetisyen sangat menghargai semua ajaran dan pengalaman yang diperolehinya semasa di firma tersebut. Yang Arif, saya percaya bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976 dan semua surat cara beliau adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya daripada Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jabatan Peguam Kuala Lumpur tidak mempunyai sebarang bantahan kepada Pempetisyen pada hari ini. Oleh yang demikian, Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon agar satu perintah Pempetisyen Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin diterima masuk dan didaftarkan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Selangor tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Janani Afifah binti Muhammad Jalaluddin dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Saya mohon agar Pempetisyen menjubahkan diri beliau sendiri.
Dipersilakan. Congratulations young lady and thank you Puan Nur Zahidah.
Terima kasih Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Pempetisyen keempat WA-18-727-07/2021 Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail, Pempetisyen keempat.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Umi Farhana binti Muhammad Nasir, Peguam pengusul kepada Pempetisyen keempat Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail. Bersama-sama kita hadir pada hari ini adalah rakan bijaksana seperti yang telah diperkenalkan sebentar tadi. Yang Arif, allow me to proceed in English.
Dipersilakan.
Thank you, Yang Arif. On the 10th of July 1997, a precious firstborn daughter of a lovely couple, the late Encik Ismail bin Abdul Manaf and Puan Shakina binti Shahbuddin, was brought into this unforeseen amazing world. She is our fourth petitioner, Puan Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail. Grew up in a modest yet wonderful family, guided by amazing and supportive parents. She had a tremendous journey of education and childhood moments, similar to other young teens of her age. Not a single time in those moments had she ever imagined to venture herself into law. Nonetheless, Yang Arif, the sturdy motivation received from her mom infused a strong persuasion for her to begin her endeavor into this indisputable, amazing field. She's been strongly gripping that pull of hope and inspiration, which ultimately became the utmost factor that carves her till she becomes of what we see here today, along with all her successful achievements. Upon receiving her UPU result, she was offered to pursue her study into the Foundation of Laws at the Center for Foundation Studies, International Islamic University Malaysia, prior to her LLB completion with honours from Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Law, IIUM. From there on, she continued her mission in achieving her aspired dreams by completing her chambering with the chambers of Lee and Chong under tutelage of Miss Irene Tan. Today, the petitioner would like to take a moment to deliver her blissful thanks and gratefulness to all individuals who had been with her up until this memorable day and hope will always be. To her one and only mother, Puan Shakina binti Shahbuddin, her admirable Abba, whom she misses more than any word could convey, Encik Ismail bin Abdul Manaf, her another father, Encik Basharuddin, all of her sisters, Atira, Fatini, Afrina, and her younger brother, Firas, for being very supportive since day one. To all her IIUM colleagues and friends, Sister Khazika, Nik Adawiyah, Armi Kayani, Ain Hakimah, Ain Hisham, Marhamah Rahim, Ulfa Hashim, Aina Farhana, Adila, Tahira, Huda, Brother Adib Akmal, Ahsanu Wardi, and Ikmal Nordin, thank you for always accepting her, for always standing next to her and giving her much kind of support through the process. Also, her blissful thanks to the chambers of Lee and Chong, to her master Irene Tan, whom she would like to take this opportunity to express countless appreciation for all truthful guidance and counsel she had been blessed with, and all other partners and staff. To Miss Cindy and Sabrina, thank you for being her supporters during chambering time, as she'll always cherish all the moments that shared together. A million thanks to her current firm, Roy & Co., for welcoming her to their firm to begin her legal journey in an absolute refreshing environment. The petitioner is also extremely thankful to Tessin Salva for always believing in her, continuously being her motivator, and always encourages her to push herself beyond her imaginable limit. The petitioner also would like to thank her mover, Umi Farhana Muhammad Nasir, for making time to move the petitioner's call. Finally, yet importantly to herself, thank you for not giving up until today and keeping moving herself to the finish line. Yang Arif, saya sesungguhnya percaya bahawa surat cara Pempetisyen adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profesyen Undang-Undang 1976 dan juga rakan-rakan terpelajar saya tiada mempunyai sebarang bantahan. Oleh yang demikian, Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon suatu perintah agar Pempetisyen Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara di Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Fatin Nur Shazwana binti Ismail dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Much obliged, Arif. Dengan izin mahkamah, mohon kebenaran untuk pempetisyen menyarungkan jubahnya sendiri, Yang Arif.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations and thank you Puan Umi Farhana.
Masya Allah, Yang Arif.
Pempetisyen kelima WA-18-803-08/2021 Fariha Liana binti Zainal.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Fariha Liana binti Zainal, petisyen kelima.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Muhammad Isa bin Muqbasir, Peguam Pengusul bagi Pempetisyen kelima Fariha Liana binti Zainal. Bersama-sama saya ialah rakan-rakan bijaksana yang mewakili Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur dan juga Selangor yang telah diperkenalkan kepada Yang Arif sebentar tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, sebelum saya mengusulkan penerimaan masuk pempetisyen ke dalam Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya, izinkan saya memperkenalkan latar belakang pempetisyen. Pempetisyen telah dilahirkan pada 20 Oktober 1996 di wilayah Persekutuan Labuan dan merupakan puteri kedua kepada pasangan Encik Zainal bin Ali dan Puan Nur Laili binti Bakri. Pempetisyen telah memulakan pendidikan awal di Sekolah Kebangsaan Banang Jaya Batu Pahat, Johor dan menamatkan persekolahan menengah di Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Perempuan Temanggung Ibrahim. Pempetisyen seterusnya telah melanjutkan pelajaran ketingkatan 6 dalam jurusan Sains Kemanusiaan di Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Datuk Bentara Luar dan telah memperolehi keputusan yang cemerlang untuk menyambung pengajian dalam ijazah sarjana muda undang-undang dengan kepujian di Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. Usai tamat pengajian, pempetisyen seterusnya telah menjalani latihan dalam kamar di Tetuan Faiz Azrina & Co di bawah pimpinan dan tunjuk ajar pengajarnya Encik Muhammad Nazri bin Abdullah Jis. Sepanjang tempoh latihan dalam kamar, pempetisyen juga telah diberi pendedahan dan tunjuk ajar yang luas dan amat bermakna dalam ilmu hartanah dan conveyancing oleh pengajarnya. Yang Arif, kejayaan pempetisyen dalam mengharungi liku-liku kehidupan tidak akan tercapai tanpa iringan restu, pengorbanan dan juga doa daripada kedua-dua ibu bapanya. Sokongan dan harapan daripada ibu bapa pempetisyen menjadi pembakar semangat dan penyuluh di setiap langkah pempetisyen di dalam menggapai cita-citanya. Justru itu, pada hari yang penuh bersejarah ini, pempetisyen ingin melahirkan rasa syukur dan hormat kepada tunjang kekuatannya, iaitu kedua ibu bapanya, Encik Zainal bin Ali dan juga Puan Nur Laili binti Bakri. Tanpa pengorbanan dan kesabaran mereka membesarkan pempetisyen, pastinya pempetisyen tidak akan berdiri di hadapan mahkamah yang mulia pada hari ini, Yang Arif. Serangkai kata buat kedua-dua ibu bapa pempetisyen. Mak, ayah, pengorbananmu amat bermakna buat anakmu ini. Meskipun ku bawa bintang dan bulan untukmu, tidak akan tertanding dengan jasa dan sayangmu. Terima kasih untuk segala-galanya. Pempetisyen juga ingin merakamkan jutaan terima kasih yang tidak terhingga kepada adik-beradik pempetisyen, iaitu Anis Mastura, Ifa Hazwani, Hazim Muaz dan Kaisyah Umairah yang telah menjadi penyeri dalam hidup pempetisyen. Sesungguhnya tanpa sokongan daripada setiap ahli keluarganya, pempetisyen tidak akan mampu melangkah sejauh ini, Yang Arif. Oleh itu, pempetisyen menghadiahkan dan mendedikasikan hari yang penuh bersejarah ini khusus buat seluruh ahli keluarganya. Ucapan penghargaan seterusnya ditujukan kepada insan yang teristimewa buat pempetisyen, iaitu Encik Muhammad Aizuddin bin Muhammad Amri. Pempetisyen amat menghargai segala budi, jasa dan kesabaran beliau yang tidak pernah jemu mendengar luahan pempetisyen di kala susah dan senang. Selain itu, Yang Arif, pempetisyen juga ingin memberikan penghargaan khas buat insan-insan di Tetuan Faiz Azrina & Co, iaitu Encik Muhammad Nazri, Encik Ahmad Faiz, Cik Fatin Nabila, Puan Umi Idayu, Cik Sarah Sofia, Puan Sufina dan Puan Nurul Ashikin yang begitu sabar dan ikhlas di dalam berkongsi ilmu sepanjang Pempetisyen menjalani latihan dalam kamar. Sesungguhnya, Pempetisyen berasa amat bersyukur dan bertuah kerana diberi peluang untuk menjalani latihan dalam kamar di firma guaman ini. Pempetisyen pastinya tidak akan mensia-siakan segala panduan dan tunjuk ajar yang telah diberikan oleh warga Tuan Faiz, Azrina & Co. Yang Arif, Pempetisyen juga ingin memanjangkan penghargaan kepada Puan Nuraisha, Puan Roslaili dan guru-guru serta pensyarah-pensyarahnya atas segala ilmu yang telah dicurahkan tanpa penat lelah. Buat sahabat-sahabat Pempetisyen iaitu Iman Athira, Nurafini, Nur Farahin dan Natasha Adila, Pempetisyen ingin mengucapkan jutaan terima kasih kerana masih kekal setia bersama-sama dengan Pempetisyen dari bangku sekolah sehinggalah ke hari ini. Sesungguhnya perjalanan hidup Pempetisyen pastinya tidak akan berhenti tanpa sahabat-sahabatnya di sini. Tidak dilupakan juga rakan-rakan di Tuan Faiz Azrina & Co, iaitu Fifi, Ini, Najihah, Najwa, Ira dan Nadia serta rakan-rakan yang lain. Pempetisyen amat menghargai kenangan dan persahabatan yang telah terjalin di antara mereka. Pempetisyen mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kerana telah mewarnai dan menceriakan hari-hari Pempetisyen sepanjang Pempetisyen menjalani latihan dalam kamar. Yang Arif, saya yakin dan percaya bahawa kesemua surat cara Pempetisyen adalah sempurna dan teratur. Saya juga sesungguhnya percaya bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang berkelayakan menurut Akta Profesion Undang-Undang 1976 dan bahawa rakan-rakan bijaksana saya yang masing-masing dari Jabatan Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan-Kuasa Peguam Selangor tidak mempunyai sebarang bantahan. Oleh yang demikian, saya dengan rendah diri memohon supaya Pempetisyen Fariha Liana binti Zainal diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan, Yang Arif.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jawatan-Kuasa Peguam Negeri Selangor tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Fariha Liana binti Zainal sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Fariha Liana binti Zainal dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Terima kasih Yang Arif. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya dengan rendah diri memohon keizinan Yang Arif untuk membenarkan Pempetisyen menyarungkan jubahnya.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations Young Lady and terima kasih Encik Muhammad Isa.
Arif.
Petisyen ke-6 WA-18-817-08/2021 Nicole Lim Jia Ying.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Nicole Lim Jia Ying, Pempetisyen ke-6.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Andrew Heng Ying Ho, Peguam Pengusul mewakili pihak Pempetisyen nombor 6, Nicole Lim Jia Ying. Rakan-rakan bijaksana saya, Wakil Peguam Negara, Majlis Peguam dan Jawatan Peguam Kuala Lumpur telah pun diperkenalkan sebelum ini. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya memohon kebenaran Mahkamah Yang Mulia ini untuk meneruskan ucapan dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
May it pleases, my lady. Some brief facts on the petitioner, my lady. The petitioner is in her youthful age of 25. She was born on the 29th of April and is the third child to Mr. Alex Lim and Madam Connie Cork. The petitioner undertook her primary school education at Sekolah Jenis Kebangsaan Cina Kiau Bin and her secondary school education at Chonghua Independent High School, one of Malaysia's oldest high schools established in 1919. The petitioner went on to study A-levels and began reading law at Help University under a twinning program. The petitioner thereafter graduated from Cardiff University with a second upper class honours, and she continued to pursue the bar professional training course at Cardiff. Truth to be told, law is not the petitioner's first passion. Her passion lies in dancing and singing. The petitioner had the opportunity to showcase her talent when performing in the Festival of Diversity, one of the biggest events organized by the Malaysian Society of Cardiff University. Such experience had truly added colors to her life canvas. Be that as it may, my lady, the petitioner had always understood the need to be grounded in a steady profession. Hence, reading law was the most suited for her, and she has not regretted it since. In fact, my lady, the petitioner is proud to say that she is the first lawyer in her family. Upon completion of the bar, the petitioner was most excited to commence her pupillage, and she did so in Mrs. Gananathan Low under the tutelage of my learned friend, Miss Olivia Low. The petitioner believes that she must not forget her roots. And if I may quote a quote picked by the petitioner by Matshona Diwayalu, a Canadian-based philosopher, it says, "It is in the roots, not the branch, that a tree's greatest strength lies." To this end, my lady, the petitioner wishes to express her utmost gratitude, first to her parents for their unconditional love, support, and sacrifice. Indeed, Mr. Lim and Madam Kwok are the twin pillars who contributed immensely to the building by building the foundation in the petitioner's life. She is ever so thankful to them. The petitioner would also like to thank all her family members and relatives who have supported and guided her. Petitioner is equally thankful that she had the opportunity to experience pupillage physically in a law firm during the pandemic. The petitioner says thank you to all her colleagues at Gananathan Law for welcoming her as part of the firm's family and so willingly impart knowledge to her. Her time at the firm was truly an enjoyable one. The petitioner also wishes to express her deepest appreciations to her friends, Vivian, Xiang Yi, Wei Yang, and Zoe for their support and help throughout her studies and pupillage, and to Angela, Carmen, Mandy, Sharon, and Jin Yi, who had helped her through thick and thin. Special mention must be made to Sean, who always has her back and make her want to do better and become a better person. She knows that she would not have gotten through the long and difficult journey without them. Last but certainly not least, my lady, the petitioner expressed her sincere gratitude to her pupil master and mentor, Miss Olivia Low, for the guidance and advice given. She will never forget her pupil master's words. Our purpose as lawyers is to help others in need. With that in mind, the petitioner says she will strive to fight for the right cause and help those in need of protection of the law. Having completed her pupillage under the tutelage of my learned friend, Miss Olivia Low, I have no doubt the petitioner certainly would. I had a similar privilege of serving pupillage under Miss Low back then, and it is indeed my honor to be moving the petitioner's call this morning. With that, my lady, I verily believe that the petitioner is a fit and proper person to be admitted and enrolled as an advocate and solicitor of the High Court of Malaya. I also believe that all the petitioner's papers are in order and that my learned friends from the Attorney General's Chambers, the Malaysian Bar and the Kuala Lumpur Bar Committee respectively have no objection to this petition. Dengan izin, saya dengan rendah diri memohon supaya Nicole Lim Jiaying diterima masuk dan didaftarai sebagai seorang Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Kuala.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Nicole Lim Jiaying sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Nicole Lim Jiaying dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
I'm most obliged, my lady, and to my learned friends. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya kini memohon kebenaran untuk pempetisyen menjubahkan dirinya sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Terima kasih Yang Arif.
Congratulations, young lady, and thank you, Mr. Heng.
Most obliged, my lady.
Pempetisyen ke-7 WA-857-08/2021 Choi Chok Hua.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, nama saya Choi Chok Hua, Pempetisyen ke-7.
Yes.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya Mak Hon Pan, Peguam Pengusul bagi pihak Pempetisyen ke-7 pada hari ini, Cik Choi Chok Hua. Bersama-sama saya adalah rakan-rakan saya yang bijaksana yang mewakili pihak yang berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Majlis Peguam Malaysia dan Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur adalah seperti yang telah diperkenalkan sebentar tadi. Dengan izin Yang Arif, saya ingin memohon izin untuk meneruskan ucapan saya di dalam bahasa Inggeris.
Dipersilakan.
Much obliged, my lady. My lady, may I introduce the petitioner, Choi Chok Hua. She was born on 12 March 1997 as the youngest daughter of Mr. Choi Chi Yuan and Miss Lim Gek Ling, as well as the younger sister of Miss Choi Chok Ying. Despite having parents who are both engineers and herself studying sciences up to the A levels, she, however, did not develop a strong interest to pursue a science-related career. Instead, she turned to pursue a law degree at King's College London, uncertain then if she would be suited for a career in law either. She subsequently went on to complete the Bar Vocational Studies at City University of London and thereafter did her pupillage at Messrs. Rahmat Lim and Partners under the tutelage of Miss Chan Wei Lee. Standing before this court virtually today, the petitioner would like to express her deepest gratitude to the countless people who have guided and assisted her in one way or another in becoming who she is today. In particular, she would like to thank her family members for being with the petitioner from the literal beginning of her life and for all their time, effort, and money invested, and hopefully not wasted, in the petitioner. The petitioner was once a naive child who often felt bitter for not being able to freely contact her working parents during office hours. But as she has grown to be utterly grateful for all their hard work and sacrifices which allowed her and her sister to live comfortably since young. The petitioner would also like to thank her sister, who was once her #1 bickering partner, and now each other's #1 support. The petitioner owes all her current and future success to her family members. Next, the petitioner would like to thank her pupil masters, Miss Chan Wei Lee, for taking a chance on the petitioner and subsequently imparting her with knowledge and guidance over the past 10 months. The petitioner also wishes to thank Ms. Moi Pui Yi and Ms. Yo Zilin for trusting the petitioner and for their time and effort in training and shaping the petitioner into a better lawyer. Up next is her team members at Ramhadim and Partners, namely Adeline, Shannon, Javon, Hank, Amanda, Uwen, and Amira, who the petitioner has been through thick and thin with throughout her time at the firm. She wishes to thank them particularly for her support and guidance during the darkest and most stressful days and for igniting sparks of joy in the petitioner's day in the office. The petitioner would also like to thank her many other colleagues from the firm, including Zini, Angel, Tiffany, Ilyani, Hansin, Tomo, and Ian. Further, the petitioner would like to extend her gratitude to the many others who have made an impact in her life prior to the petitioner commencing her pupillage. This includes her extended family members, her teachers and lecturers, as well as her friends from kindergarten to university. The petitioner was never the perfect student or companion, but is eternally grateful for every piece of information and knowledge that she was taught, and every memory that she shares with each of them. Last, but certainly not least, the petitioner would like to thank her partner and best friend, Mr. Chiu Hui Kai, for his accompaniment, love, and support over the past many years. The petitioner is truly grateful for the unwavering support and trust that he has shown the petitioner, especially throughout her pupillage days. The petitioner would like to quote Albert Einstein to sum up her legal journey thus far. The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. The petitioner stands before this court today, celebrating an important milestone in her career and life, and is ready to take on further challenges to achieve greater heights. Yang Arif, saya sesungguhnya percaya bahawa surat cara Pempetisyen adalah lengkap dan teratur. Saya juga percaya bahawa Pempetisyen adalah seorang yang sesuai dan layak untuk diterima dan didaftaraikan sebagai seorang peguam Bela dan peguam Cara Mahkamah yang mulia ini. Saya percaya bahawa rakan-rakan saya yang bijaksana tidak mempunyai apa-apa bantahan terhadap petitioner ini. Oleh yang demikian, saya dengan hormatnya memohon agar Pempetisyen Cik Choi Chok Hua diterima masuk dan didaftaraikan sebagai peguam Bela dan peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya.
Dengan izin Yang Arif, tiada bantahan dari Jabatan Peguam Negara.
Yang Arif, Majlis Peguam Malaysia tidak ada sebarang bantahan.
Arif, Jabatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur tiada sebarang bantahan.
Mahkamah dengan ini membenarkan permohonan Pempetisyen dan menerima masuk Choi Chok Hua sebagai Peguam Bela dan Peguam Cara Mahkamah Tinggi Malaya dan juga memerintahkan nama Choi Chok Hua dan penerimaannya didaftaraikan oleh pendaftar.
Dengan izinnya Arif, saya memohon izin agar Pempetisyen dibenarkan untuk menyarungkan jubah ke atas diri sendiri.
Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih, Arif.
Congratulations, young lady, and thank you, Mr. Mak.
Terima kasih, Yang Arif.
Dengan ini, saya menjemput Yang Arif Hakim untuk memberikan ucapan.
Puan Navini Rajkumara, Peguam Persekutuan, mewakili Yang Berbahagia Peguam Negara Malaysia, Encik Setir Mala, Wakil Majlis Peguam Malaysia, dan Encik Ui, Wakil Jawatan Kuasa Peguam Kuala Lumpur, para peguam bijaksana yang bijaksana, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Let me begin by expressing my sincerest thanks to all the movers and the representatives from the AGC, the Bar Council, as well as the Bar Committee for taking your time out to be with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say these long call proceedings have always lifted my spirit to see the faces of the young and promising new lawyers and to hear their impressive resumes. Who says being in court is boring? The future is definitely bright for the legal profession, inshallah. And I look forward for that matter for this long call session to be resumed physically soon. Yes? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to address the new advocates and solicitors of the High Court of Malaya. Dear petitioners, I believe today is an important and auspicious occasion for all of you who have just been called to the bar minutes ago. Let me be among the first to congratulate you on your success. You have passed all your examinations and you have survived the 9 months of chambering, and you are now about to take the first step in your professional career. Being called to the bar is the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and commitment on your part, and not forgetting the sacrifice of your parents in supporting you emotionally and financially over the years. Please take this as an order of the court this morning. Do not forget your parents' sacrifices. I can imagine the pride in your parents and your loved ones' faces this morning, and I must say they are justified and own that pride, as they, especially your parents, have sacrificed a lot to see you where you are today. Congratulations to your parents. Kepada para ibu bapa, hari ini sebenarnya adalah hari kejayaan tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian. Khusus untuk Pempetisyen Cheryl Teo dan Fatin Nur Shazwana, may your late father's soul rest in peace. They must be looking at both of you this morning, this blessed Friday morning, with pride from the heaven above. Remember this, the first rule to be successful in life is that you must always be grateful and kind to your parents. Ladies and gentlemen, being called to the bar is an important milestone in your life. It is a significant rite of passage for lawyers. No other profession inducts its newest members with as much ceremony and dignity as ours. Savor this moment and be ready to face the challenges that await you. You have entered into a noble and respected profession. Since the beginning of the civilized nation until today, this profession has been given great trust in their roles and responsibilities in implementing and upholding justice. Bear in mind and remember always that the ability to practice as an advocate and solicitor is not a right, but a privilege afforded by the legislation, i.e. the Legal Profession Act. Now, the law permits all aspects of citizens' life. A citizen lives in and by the law. It serves both as a sword and a shield. The law ensures that our right to life, to earn a living, to equality before the law, to punish crime, the right to vote, and to decide who our government will be, to cite a few examples. So it serves as the foundation for the provision and delivery of justice. In a plural society such as Malaysia with its cultural and religious diversity, justice and the law are paramount significance. Our social architecture is founded and governed by our federal constitution, which is a supreme arbiter and guide for the institutional pillars of the nation, as well as every citizen of our country. Let me share with you a bit about the judiciary. Now, the judiciary, as the third arm of government, comprises the instrument through which these nebulous yet sacrosanct principles and values contained in the federal constitution are delivered to the citizens of the nation. Judges bring life to the law and justice in particular. The judiciary and the judges therefore serve to fulfill the needs of the society for justice through the interpretation and application of the laws of the country in accordance with the principles and values of the federal constitution. However, the judiciary and the individual judges are not the entire repository of justice. They are neither the sole guardians nor custodians of justice within the justice system. As Pali Nariman, the renowned jurist, stated, and I quote, "If an independent judiciary is the backbone of the rule of law, as it has been often described, then an independent legal profession is the catalyst that helps achieve it." Unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, you have chosen to be part of the justice system. So lawyers, as guardians of the law, play a vital role in the preservation of the society. The fulfillment of this role requires an understanding by lawyers of their relationship with and function in our legal system. They are first and foremost officers of the court. Now, this is a role of paramount importance within the justice system because they assist the court to arrive at a just decision. It is a lawyer who sets out the factual basis for a dispute, the complaint of his client, who conducts the trial in accordance with the principles of natural justice and significantly provides guidance to the court in relation to the law. In undertaking these duties, a lawyer's primary and overriding duty is owed to the court. It is therefore of fundamental importance for lawyers to comprehend and accept that while they are agents for their clients who pay them for the work they undertake, their cardinal rule is to ensure that their presentation of their client's case and the law is honest, relevant, and of sufficient competence to assist a court. In short, lawyers are constrained to maintain the highest standard of ethical conduct. If they fail to abide by these fundamental duties, there is a direct and immediate consequence, namely that the administration of justice is undermined. Remember, if we desire respect of the law, we must first make the law respectable. Ladies and gentlemen, with this first step today, you are embarking on a long professional journey. There will be many roadblocks and obstacles along the way, but you must never lose sight of your destination. Long distance runners, they said, must have strength, courage, and stamina to complete the course. And as the saying goes, lawyers never die. They only lose their case. So remember always, everything new is a challenge, and to the ambitious, everything is a challenge to be overcome, because whatever challenges you face are actually excellent opportunities to make your career as great as your capabilities and efforts permit. Life is about accepting the challenges along the way, choosing to keep moving forward and savoring the journey. Let me remind you the simple virtues that a lawyer must have: patience, integrity, honesty, humility. Do not regard legal practice merely as a commercial venture. If this narrow motivation is not checked and allowed to spread, the profession will one day consist of members who are no different from the ordinary salesmen who sell goods or services for money's worth and nothing else. You and I must continue to enhance our legal knowledge, notwithstanding how old and young we are. So don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. Jika anda berhasrat untuk berjaya, jangan hanya memandang ke tangga, tetapi belajarlah untuk menaiki tangga tersebut. Tiada jalan singkat untuk berjaya, tiada jalan mudah untuk bahagia, tiada jalan senang untuk gembira. Semuanya memerlukan usaha. And this is for you and myself. Padi digiling menjadi beras, malam gelap nyalakan pelita. Mari kita bekerja keras untuk menggapai cita-cita. As you embark on this pursuit, I extend to you on behalf of the entire bench and everyone in this virtual courtroom our heartfelt congratulations and best wishes. I wish you all the best and happiness. I am confident that you will strive to achieve excellence in the performance of your obligations and duties at the bar. I am also confident that you will respect each other at the bar. I congratulate you once again. Wear those robes with pride and dignity. Welcome to the arena and hope to see you in court one day as learned counsels. Have a pleasant day ahead. For your kind attention and attendance, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And selamat sejahtera.
Ya Arif Hakim. Ya Arif, sesi bergambar ya Arif. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan serta cik,